Hello. Today I want to share with you one simple method to improve your efficiency, improve your performance in the areas of your life that are important to you. First, let's ask ourselves a question. Why don't people get what they want? I mean, we want so many things. We want to be rich, we want to be healthy, some of us at least, want to be famous, we want good relationships. And yet, so few of us have all these things. So if we don't get what we want, what do we get most of the time? Well, we get what we must have. You can bargain during the job interview for the higher salary, but in your mind, you already have this bottom line for yourself, this number that you must get, because below that you won't agree, you won't be working at that place. And more often than not, you will end up getting some number, some salary around this line, because we fight more for what we must have. So we have this too, what we want to have and what we must have. Let's look at relationships. Very important area of your life. There are certain qualities you must have in your relationship for the relationship to be good. Maybe it's trust, maybe it's respect, love, understanding, maybe all these things. If your partner doesn't meet these requirements, probably you will end up having bad relationship, or you will end the relationship altogether. So, as you probably noticed, we are talking about standards today. And this is the first keyword for today. There will be two. Standards. Your standard is something you must have, and you won't go below, and you won't settle for less. To make a lasting change, to make it long term, you have to raise your standards. You have to raise the level of what you must have. For example, if for some reason I don't exercise enough, I'm starting to put on weight. And of course, my body changes. At some point, I look in the mirror and I compare what I see in the mirror with the image I have in my head, and I said, that's enough. I strayed too far from my standard. And again, I'm starting working out more, exercise harder, to get back to the level of my physical fitness, the level I want to have. So we all have our standards. We all have these levels that we are operating on. Standard of how you work, how you talk to people, how you dress, how your body looks, how you eat, how you talk to other people, and the standard of the relationships you have. So to make this lasting change, you need to raise your standards. And sounds simple, but how to do it exactly? So here's the technique that I'm using. Let's say I'm working in my office. I'm sitting there and I'm not quite happy with my performance. Maybe scrolling social media too much, maybe getting involved in some meaningless argument over the internet. Something feels wrong. Maybe involving in a project I'm not really interested in. So I do this. I think about someone that I know who already have higher standards in that area of my life that I want to improve. I think about my friend Carol, who is a successful businessman involving only in the big international project, meeting famous people, making, of course, lots of money. So basically, my role model in this area of my life. If he entered my office and looked around, and see how it looks and see what I'm doing, how I'm dressed, would he consider me as a business partner? How would that make me feel? Imagine him entering right now. Would I like to show him around, or maybe I would feel a little bit embarrassed of how it looks? And suddenly I start noticing things I ignored before. I now know that yes, indeed I need to clean up my office and maybe shave and maybe change the way I'm dressed. But what I do is I go one step farther, and this is where the magic happens for me. I'm putting on my friend's personality, and by doing so, I'm also wearing his standards, because people with different personalities have different standards. For example, if you're an athlete, you don't need motivation to quit smoking. You don't even consider smoking because you're a sportsman. So now I have his personality, his business personality, let's say. And I know what needs to be changed. And I do this. I clean up my room, I change the way I'm dressed, I'm getting shaved if it's needed, and I already feel different. Doing all this changes the way I feel about myself. I feel more like me. I feel that finally I'm getting control back over my life. It raises my self-esteem, and I'm ready to operate at higher levels of productivity and at higher standards. It's like I'm wearing Iron Man's armor. Inside, I'm still me, but I feel stronger. I am stronger. I am faster. I can do more things. I have more options, more capabilities, and I have access to all I've learned in the past. Do you know that the way we are dressed changes the way we think? If the man wears a suit, he acts different. He's more polite, less aggressive, more gallant. His language is different, it's better, just because of the suit he's wearing. So imagine how wearing not only a nice suit, but wearing greater personality and higher standards can affect your productivity. So to sum up, it's not enough to want things, to have them. We don't always get the things we want, but we get things that we must have. What you must have is your standards. And standards is the first keyword. To make a lasting change, you have to raise your standards. One of the ways, the method I am presenting is to find a person who already have some higher standards in that area that you want to change than you, and wear their personality. And personality is this second keyword, because if you have different personality, you have different standards. If you do this exercise often, the new personality and the higher standard will kind of blend in and become your own. So it will be now your personality and your new standards. At the end, one last example, because maybe you're not a business person and this is not that important for you. But let's say sports. You are exercising in your gym and the world champion comes in and looks at you and see how you train. Ask yourself a question. Would he like to train with you? What would he see? Are you doing the best you can right now? What if you wear the world champion attitude toward training and his passion for success and his passion for being the best in the world? How would that affect your training? How would that change the number of repetitions you do? Maybe normally you do like 10 repetitions of a kick, of some technique. How do you think, how many techniques the world champion does? A 10? Probably more like 100 or 1,000. So think about it. Try it. Try it in the area of your life that is important to you, or few areas. Let me know if that works for you. Good luck, all the best.